I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hi, I'm Luke Ryan for JOBLO.com and welcome to Top 5 Movie Mistakes. Whether it's The Shining or whether it's The Lawnmower Man, in every movie somewhere along the way someone has screwed up. In 2017, Stephen King's It was brought to the big screen to critical acclaim and huge commercial success. The book had already been adapted into a television movie in 1990, with Tim Curry playing the iconic role of Pennywise the Clown. With the recent release of It Chapter 2 rounding off the new adaptation's lifespan, it was about time we went back to the 2017 Chapter 1 movie to see what fun goofs and errors we can find poking around in the fictional town of Derry. And while the portrayal of Pennywise in these films by Swedish actor Bill Skarsgard has been much talked about and highly praised, unfortunately, the dancing clown doesn't appear in any of these fearful flubs. As always, these aren't mistakes in a critical sense, they're just fun errors and aren't meant to be taken seriously. Like, at all. Alright, so let's get into it. Number 5. When the losers are confronting the bullies and get involved in a vicious rock fight, pay close attention to the boy called Belch and see if you can spot the mistake.
Fuck you, bitch!
Now, if you're like me, you might not have even known who Belch even was, even if you do like the movie a lot, so I guess I didn't give you much to go on, but he's this guy. And when Beverly throws a rock at his face, you can see that the cut on his nose appears before the rock even touches him. Sure, you can argue that maybe it was a cut from an earlier throw, but in the shots leading up to this moment, his nose is completely unscathed. Number 4. When Beverly is being bullied in the school toilets and gets a disgusting bag of wet trash poured over her head, she shields herself with her backpack. Seemingly moments later, her hair is now completely dry, as is her bag. But while that can be explained away with an off-screen event, something that can't quite so easily be explained away is just before they dunk the water over her, she puts out a cigarette on the stall door. Watch closely. In the first shot, her right hand stubs out the cigarette. And in the overhead view, she's now holding it in her left hand in a completely different position. Number 3. At the very end of the film, after the losers have successfully vanquished Pennywise, spoilers, they take a blood pact, slicing each other's hands open and clasping them all together. For one thing, you never see blood on the shard of glass they used to cut themselves, but mainly, when we look at Bill and Beverly's hands joined together, the back of Bill's hand is facing towards the camera. But in the very next shot, now it's the back of Beverly's hand that is facing towards us, their hands completely switching positions. Number 2. This sequence is riddled with tiny mistakes. In one of the more endearing parts of the film, Beverly and Ben's first meeting, pay close attention and see if you can spot the few mistakes along the way.
What you listening to? New Kids on the Block.
I don't even like them. I was just late.
You're the new kid, right? Now I get it.
There's nothing to get.
Let me sign this. Stay cool, Ben from Soch class.
Okay, so first of all, when Beverly puts the pen cap in her mouth, in the next shot it disappears completely. Then it's back in her mouth again in this shot, and in the very next frame it's gone again. Then we see her writing her name at the top left of the page, next to the dots. Now the writing is much further down the left side of the page, and finally she's now writing on the right side of the page. With that last one, it makes sense, as this way we get to see both the writing in the book and a close-up of Ben's face. The rest is a continuity nightmare, but again, these videos do get a lot of comments that seem to, quote-unquote, mistake these videos as actual critiques of the film. Every film has movie mistakes, and 99.9% of the time, they really don't make a blind bit of difference, as they don't in this scene, which I really like. But it does have an unusual amount of errors, so there's that too.
Please don't go, girl. That's the name of another New Kids on the Block song.
Number 1. In the opening scene of the film, Bill's brother Georgie draws a face in the condensation on the bedroom window, which is also a neat place for Bill Skarsgard's title card to appear, by the way. As you can see, the smiley face is right next to Georgie. Seconds later though, the face has vanished. Now, you could reason that the face had just faded, as it does whenever you draw a shape in condensation on the window. It tends to fade over time. It's possible, but at the end of this part of the scene, we actually see the face again, fading ominously as if to foreshadow the imminent arrival of Pennywise and Georgie's tragic death. It's also worth taking a look at the room itself, which appears to have 4 windows along a straight wall, with windows on each side too. But from the outside, they're completely different windows, both in number and in shape. Also, I'll throw in another one for free. That TV is totally a late 90s, early 2000s model that somehow snuck back in time to October 1988. So, while it is a great film with compelling, believable characters and an intensely charismatic villain, like every other film, it isn't safe from surface level movie mistakes. They float down here just the same as everywhere else.